Hello everyone and welcome to another Drafting with John, where we will be drafting some more Zendikar Rising. This one needs to be a better video for many reasons. Reason number one, the last video. I feel like I didn't talk enough. I feel like I didn't keep you guys in the loop. I feel like there were too many points where I was too engrossed in either a deck that wasn't particularly great or what was going on, and I just need to vocalize my thought processes more. Just, you know, make blah, 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 blah. Say random noises at you. So you're going to see, hopefully today, a little bit more vocal, a little bit more, you know, explaining what I'm thinking, slow it down a little bit, and hopefully we'll have a good deck to do that with. So I don't think I've got any sound on, so I'll just have to get some sound. Nudge more. Okay. Well, haven't we got some choices? So, last bit of that, get out of the way. Lithoform Engine. This is a funky card. You can pay 2, tap, and copy target activated or triggered ability. Pay 3, tap, copy target instant or sorcery. And pay 4 and tap and copy target permanent. I think it's too slow. I'll be honest with you. Sure-footed infiltrators, good. Blood Chief's Thirst, just fantastic removal. I love Royal Eruption, but I feel like it's not right to first pick that. I really want to make this work, but I just don't know if I'm smart enough to be completely honest with you. I just don't know if I've seen it work well enough ever. You can hate me for that, but I just don't feel like I want to play that game. We'll let somebody else go down that route. Okay. So we've got Confounding Conundrum. It doesn't really work in limited. Black Bloom Rogue, though, is probably, if not the best card in this pack, one of the best cards. And because it's in the colour I have already chosen, I'm more inclined to want to pick it. Shatterskull, I like. You've then got, of course, Celebrant, which is great in the Cleric deck or any kind of life payoff deck. Rabid Bite's okay, but not kind of in the same league. So it's kind of between those two, really. And I just think we keep on the train, the mono color. Okay. So we've got a couple of other options here. There's a warrior that's also a land. It's not a worst one, but it's certainly not kind of a just out of nowhere pick it. Rockslide Sorcerer is a really good wizard spells payoff. Feladar's a good grow piece. I feel like options open. Kind of just have to take Sorcerer. I feel like it's just got more about it. We may go away from black. If not, it can work in a Rakdos party. You tell me. You tell me. So the rogue is, as you would expect, a rogue. We've got a sorcerer, which is a wizard. Let's get a blood priest, which is a cleric, I think. I'm not a big fan of Lithoform Blight. Again, not hugely limited focus card. And the ambush is a decent card, although it fights, not bites, and is a little bit overcosted for that. But because it's a land. I like Blood Beckoning, and Reclaim the Wastes is good, but in specific kind of decks. And either of the rogues are kind of meh unless you've got a reason to go into sort of rogues. So I quite like taking a cleric here. Okay, well, that's something else, isn't it? So we've had this passed to us, and we are in black. If we don't take this skeleton, which is a counter-based thing, which we aren't at all yet. It is early enough for us to, you know, preference counters. We wouldn't be taking Hellion, what you want to call it. The Sky Dancer's okay, but the power level of the skeleton's better. We're certainly not set on this sorcerer, but this is basically a green card for us. Okay, so we've got blue in a Bane Veil, which I like. I've used it to great effect even in the last video. But it has to be a Gloom Hunter, really, to stay in to stay on the sort of first color we picked on black. But also it's counters, so it potentially fits that niche also. Well, I guess this is the choice point, really. We've got, I mean, Royal Mage this late is I wouldn't say it's a sign, but it's certainly like a little bit of an eye-opener. The Hunger's okay. The Pack Beast is, you know, great for party. I feel like the Colony, though, counters matters. In green. Excellent. So we've got two uncommons here that people haven't taken. We've either got the Fling or we've got the Ramp. And I think I'm going to preference the Ramp purely because we've seen one extra. So that's a second good green card come. Yeah. Another Colony here. Sorry, Sorcerer, you can take a little step back. Now we're kind of... So we've got two options there. Look at 4 cards, put 2 of them in your hand, lose 2 life. Look at 5 cards, take a creature. Possibly better. We may not play that, to be quite honest with you. We may need the card draw, so I'm not angry at that. Out of all these, I'll take a Reclaim the Wastes, but we probably won't play it. And then, here we go. So what we need is one of those key rares or uncommons in green. There it is. Yeah. Just what we wanted. Beautiful. So, we're in black-green, which are the only colours not represented in the top row at all, in any way. Well, other than blue, but blue have got some good cards. So, if we're going to think about this one, we are even split. Black-green are, I would say, they're even in terms of what is good and what isn't. You know, we're going to have to make a decision here. Are we going to pass all of this good stuff and, like, literally the only synergistic card for us is a Dauntless Survivor? Are we in that position, or are we going to take something else and say just in case? I think we'll wheel the Survivor. I'm going to take the Channeler just because if we end up seeing a lot of red, then we might want to go in that direction. And look at that. Someone has passed that. So, again, we've got a couple of options here. We've got Zoth Consumption and we've got Hagra Constrictor. That's really it for us. Someone's going to get some lovely Cleric deck and it's going to make me sad. Zoth Consumption's just better. In our deck, Hagra Constrictor will be very good. However, I think we'll wheel it, and I think Zoth Consumption's just a better. It's a card that will definitely be played as long as we play black. So I'm happy to take it. So choice here. Tangled Florahedron, helps us ramp into some of our biggest stuff, and I get the impression that the counters deck is certainly a bigger stuff deck. Or we've got Ghastly Gloomhunter, which I really like. I think is a great card. Both are a 1/1 for 2. Both have very different purposes in the deck. I feel like green has enough ways of ramping that we might not need it. And I do like a Gloomhunter, but I feel like Tangled Florahedron is probably the right call. So we'll take the Tangled Florahedron and we'll hopefully wheel the Gloomhunter, which we probably won't. But if we can get another Gloomhunter at some point, I'll be happy. Okay, so the clear one here is the Deadly Alliance. The question is, are we actually running anything that will make that better, or are we going to... So by and large, I don't think anything with 1/1 counters on it is actually going to benefit from this, but a 4-mana removal might be the best we're going to do, unless we see some of the whatever it is, 3 power or less creature destroy, or feed the swarm, hunt the weak, something like that. I don't know. We'll take it. The Muck Lord is a counter card, but it's not one I'm bowled over by. So with what we said about our lack of party, I don't think having another Blood Priest is a huge benefit to us. Same for the Pack Beast, unfortunately. The Visionary is just a solid 4-drop. Drawing us a card when it enters, it's a 3/2. I would be over the moon if we get to a place where I'm cutting that card. So got a couple of counter matters cards here. The other thing we've got is a Blightblade. I feel like Scale the Heights is probably the better card in terms of being able to do a couple of different things. I have seen Blightblade work really well though, especially with things like Rabid Bite. So now we've got this Dauntless Survivor, which we can put in. It's an okay 2-drop. I mean, I'll take another Reclaim the Wastes, but it's unlikely we play it. And a Reach creature. And a Mind Drain. Put the Axe Mace down there. Ooh, possibly play a Nectar Pot, just because we've got a couple of things that get us lands. It might help us stall the game out. I think we're going to be looking for a late game win. Okay, so we are going to need some things to really get us over the line in this last pack, for sure. Okay, so unfortunately not interested in a Jace, a Disruption, or an Infiltrator. However, luckily, we are interested in a Skycat. If we weren't taking the Skycat, we would be picking from a fairly weak field here. And, you know, we may wheel one of these. Not that we would necessarily want it, but certainly the ability to grow the Shadowcat will be good. And we have, in previous 1/1 videos, had some success with it, but I mean, it's certainly not the best card in the world, don't get me wrong. Yes. So I don't think we have enough instants or sorceries, yeah, to really make Relic Amulet work properly. Otherwise, I mean, creature-wise, we're not looking awful. I think just getting a trick to make us a little bit less readable is probably better. Malakir Rebirth, definitely a better card than Subtle Strike, but I think Subtle Strike might just be better for us. In as much as it is adding a counter. I would like to see the Scale the Heights come around though, I'll be honest with you. Okay, you've got a choice. I feel as though the Hagra Constrictor is a better card for us than the Shadow Cat. And I think the Shadow Cat's more likely to wheel, possibly. We didn't see the other Constrictor wheel, which is a shame. So hopefully there's not somebody else trying to draft this exact same deck. But I think just giving things menace. At the moment we have got 1 plus 2 things that can give it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. We'll take a Mucklord here to make it 7. Plus a couple of things that kind of benefit. So, you know, at this point we have got a few bits and bobs. Okay, that was what we were looking for. So that's the kind of where we're ramping to for sure. The Horn Beetle. I'm not sure we'll play any of the cards here. We've got 1 Mind Drain, which we may or may not play. So another one isn't making me particularly impressed. I think I'll put the Brute in, but I don't know if we'll play it. So this was our pack. So there's a couple of cards we could wheel, which would be good, but we've got to say, yeah, with 27 cards, it's unlikely that we're going to see many others that we're going to be particularly excited by. But, you know, we're playing a deck that we haven't played in a little while. Yeah, it's okay. It's certainly not got... That's okay. It's certainly not got, like, you know, 7 win potential, but it's... It'd be nice to go 4-3 with it, 5-3, something like that. Okie dokie. So, I don't know how good these Reclaim the Wastes are going to be for us. We may want to play them, but we'll see. We have got 1, 2, 3 of these lands. Our creature count is okay, but we probably don't want to be cutting any more creatures. We didn't get a lot of removal, so the Blood Chief's Thirst and the Alliance are our removal spells. And then we're just Mind Draining to try and slow them down, and Subtle Strike and other little tricks. In terms of this Blood Priest, a 2/1 that gains us 1 life, possibly 2 if the Dauntless Survivor's out, or the Brute, possibly 3 if the Visionary's out. I mean, we have a full party if we've got the Rogue out as well, but we only really have a couple. So if we look at the likelihood of what we're going to be casting these cards for, I think is really we would want to be casting that. We can cast it at 2. They're both 4. That can be 2, but we'll probably rather that be 5. Yeah, so I guess this is kind of more like what our curve looks like. I think 16 lands plus these, which it's likely we would want to play as they are, is good. We need to make a couple of cuts here. So the Oblivion's Hunger, how many things are we going to have 1/1 counters on? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, potentially 10, 11. So we have got enough things that care. I mean, it could be Visionary, it could be Brute. It could be Nectarpot. You know, are we gumming up the board early on? You know, we're doing okay. I think a Nectarpot. I know Might's not great, but it's going to potentially be removal for us. And then I think it's going to be a Visionary because I'd much rather play a Colony. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. I think that's the deck. All those 1/1s. What do we call it? I'm always in the way of the title bit, and I know that that's the bit that everyone watches the video for. I don't even know if we're allowed to put +1/+1 in things in the title. +1/+1. I'm just going to have to write something else because I can't think of anything. Moss Pit. And the lads. Okay. Let's do it. Right. Here we go. So let's talk through what we're seeing, what we're thinking. Great Scott CDN. So we've got a 4-lander. Regrowth to get some more. A lot of our deck is expensive. We've got something to do turn 2. I'll keep it. I don't like mulliganing at all. So I think we have enough lands to be able to just play lands. Hold this for late game. Depending on what they do. See, that's not threatening, so that's fine. I actually think we're better off getting the card draw. Yeah, they play a land. They don't even play a land. I think we thin out our deck. They still don't have a land. They're going to want to discard cards anyway. I'm sure they've got plenty of things. But it's probably just going to be all gas, isn't it? There's an argument to say, do we put the rogue down? They still haven't drawn a land. That really isn't good for them. I feel really sad for them. We've all been there. I guess we just attack. Just let that trade happen. And then we just whack out a couple of creatures, I think. I finally got a land. Okay, so they're a really light wizard deck then, I assume. So we attack. We've got the Might of Murasa. I think we play this. We hold open the Might, and we also hold this open. If they don't try and destroy anything, then we can spare supplies. Gets us another card. I didn't think we had that many cards in our deck. I think we just go for it. If we kill it, we represent lethal next turn. I think we represent a bit more than lethal next turn if they, with Zoff consumption. I mean, on the one hand, I agree they probably had to do that. On the other hand, okay, so it's not all that positive when you win a game because your opponent drew 2 lands for like 4 turns. But it's happened to everyone, hasn't it? Happened to me, happened to you. It'll happen to us probably in this video. But we will certainly take the early win. We learn very little about the deck. We learned that we can draw a lot of lands, unlike our opponent. But we did not learn if our deck's going to hold up. I think if they'd have had the right draws, I really like the Is It Wizards deck. When you can get it right, they had a couple of the pieces, so there's no reason why they couldn't have. But equally, we didn't really have any of our combo pieces. I mean, we got a lot of lands, so that's probably what it was. Ouya, is it Ouya or Oya? Oya. What a slow hand. Oh. Like one creature. We'll keep it because we've got things, and we just need to draw one of our 2-drop creatures or 3-drop creatures. See? It was never in doubt. It was never in doubt. Depending on what they do, we probably are going to play that on 2 and then scale on 3. Nearly. Nearly played another swamp. Old Swampy would have been embarrassing, wouldn't it? Obviously, them getting rid of that is a pain, isn't it? I just think that they offer the trade. Yeah. Having Death Touch is going to be annoying. Oh. Fair enough. I think this is probably just better. I'll take that action. So now we've got the Moss Pit in our hand. We're rolling Regrowth. That's already done its job. So I'm not particularly bothered because it still buffs things around it. If we're rolling regrowth now, we don't get to play anything else. Or we could just null colony. Yeah, I think we null a colony. Oh no, we can't kick it. I keep forgetting. I always think that that's 2 to kick. It's actually 5 in total. We can't kick Moss Pit. So yeah, we are unfortunately in a position where we'd rather just ramp. And we are really just going to want more forests. You know, at the moment we're just taking 2. Milling us is a pain, but it's not. Them playing a crab, for instance, is going to be annoying, but they've already played 5 lands. If they can get that back out of their graveyard, again, that becomes annoying. So I feel like the Hornbeetle's such a key piece for us. If they've got a counter, they've got a counter. You know, they can counter anything. I don't think playing around a counter is as good as getting out something that's going to benefit us when we play our colony and our skeleton. Happy for them to play a squid. Right, okay. So yeah, so now we kind of... We get 3 counters on the skeleton. We get 3 1/1s. We don't attack into them. We use the skeleton to attack because even if they kill it, yeah, so they get back that, which could mill us for 8 or half our graveyard, which is half our library, which is about 8. Okay, so we've got some choices. We can do a colony, but that, and then a thirst. We could. What should we thirst? If we attack first, we kill a couple of things. You know what? I think we attack. We can hunger it. Play this guy. Probably most scared of that. Getting Death Touch. So we've got 5 1/1s. We can probably start attacking with some of those now. Yeah, so that would have given that Death Touch. So these 2/1s are great for us. Getting rid of the Hornbeetle isn't the end of the world for us because it's already kind of done its job. We've got 8 turns to do something, so if we swing with everything, they need to block the 3 biggest. We get in for 5. We kill basically everything. We save one of the things with hunger. We possibly even, yeah, I think we just swing everything. You know, they're not going to hit us on the crackback. We're on the clock. We've got a couple of things we can do in combat. That flashing in doesn't really make a difference to us because of the tricks we've got. That's got trample, that's got trample. So we think we just win there, I think. I get the impression that their deck wasn't really doing anything. Maybe they had some crabs. Maybe there's some crabs in their deck. They didn't really seem to do anything. Maybe it's just today everyone's letting us have some fun. I don't know. I'll take 2 wins for basically free. When we get there, the power level of the deck is certainly not bad, but we're being like allowed to get there, which is unusual. Like, I'd expect to be getting there with like 5 life left, and you know, when I play a creature, it gets destroyed, you know, or having to block with it straight away. Because when you let things stick around for a turn or two in the counters deck, that's where you get really get the combos going, and it gets the value, and it can be a potentially good deck. It is harder to get good though, unfortunately. So I don't hate this. We have enough lands to not have to play the Zoth Consumption out straight away. I'm gonna risk it on the basis that the Hagger can come down next turn. It's not a good blocker for the Hellhound. Please tell me that they didn't have another land. That would be great if they had just one mountain in their opening hand. I don't think our luck will extend to, I was going to say, them not having a... Although they're having to play a Baligan Recovery, so they've not got a turn 2. Yeah, so I think Florahedrons are better. Better play there. This is what I mean by, like, it takes a long time to get there. With something like this, this is a scary attack now. This is kind of what I was expecting to happen. So we'll get this guy down because he then blocks everything. Then when we play the Constrictor, we get benefit. I expect that to die. It's outside of Royal Eruption, but there are plenty of removal spells that can happen. I don't like an attack from them. That is not good at all. So I'm dead on board if I don't block. That isn't great. In which case, I may as well block the bigger one. Okay, so we're in a sticky situation now. I need them to have stalled, not drawn any lands, and be struggling. I've done this in order that I can block both, because you have to be... Wow, look at that. Look at that. Okay, so we can make the Constrictor... We can make the Constrictor indestructible and then draw a card off it for the first combat. If they don't have any more lands, I think we're just gonna get hit by that. They're playing that as a creature, not... Wow, the landfall is real. So I presume that they're just waiting for a land next turn. An attack from them is scary. I mean, obviously, Morag, it seems like, why wouldn't you? I'm one away from playing the... No, I'm not. I'm a bit away from playing the Gnarled Colony and... I think I'm better off just having the power on the board. It's annoying not having this in the bag, but I'm just hoping they stall out on lands. But even then, you know, there's some stuff here. They don't have particularly good blocks. You know, I can block Morag with the Dauntless Survivor even, and then buff the Shadow Cat. I'm already blanking. Yeah, this isn't ideal. So there's no trample. No, hold on. Yeah, they don't get this. They played it in the wrong order. They should have played the land in their second main. Why wouldn't you play that as a land? Oh, you've already played the land. So... I'm not really sure if there's anything in the world that could help us here. I think that's us done. Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's the kind of thing where they seem to have a pretty good landfall deck there. They obviously played it wrong, which is a shame towards the end. On Arena anyway, because I think you would just wreck on that in real life, wouldn't you? But we just weren't quick enough. We had, you know, some decent stuff there, but like I said, when you start playing things and you're in a position where if you don't sacrifice your creatures to stop their advances, you lose the game. Yeah, if they hadn't have played the Roiling Regrowth, whatever it was they played, and my Hornbeetle went, I could have had some 1/1s, chump blockers. We're in a different ballpark, but when 5 mana is kind of your like starting point, it doth get tricky. So these are double green to make work, but that isn't, and we have got enough to do turn 2, and we just need one more land. So we haven't had any trouble getting lands. Playing more lands than I probably would normally. So we'll have something to start the game off with, and hopefully we'll draw a land, preferably a forest. Nothing. Okay, that's annoying and will cost us in our deck, whereby we need lands. They're currently mono black too. Yeah, you can probably just have those, I think. And a forest, perfect. Ah, they're black-white. Maybe clerics. They're black-white clerics. How nice. So this kind of deck is where you certainly do have a good late game. And I don't know if we're going to have a stronger late game. I mean, we will if they don't do anything. I'm going to have to decline that. can't attack because they have good blocks on the Blood Priest and they can just stop the Muck Lord. If they could kill the Muck Lord, I might be tempted. I mean, next turn we've got attacks on the Hagro Constrictor because it's definitely not gonna die. Yeah, that's it. That's that one. Excellent. Right, so I think we're best off getting some more lambs. Because next turn, regardless of anything else, we can go Horn Beetle. The Horn Beetle will die, but we can't keep waiting, can we? You know? Like, we can't keep saying, oh, well, eventually I can play something. Yeah, if they've got removal... at least it's cost them 5, so... the healer with lifelink and them gaining a life is annoying. But I have good blocks on it. So we could Shadow Cat, or we could just get a 4/4 with Trample out. Now we've got really good blocks. We need them to stop killing our stuff, you know. That's one of our only removal spells, so that's nice. But it's okay. So next turn, we have enough to play both our creatures. Yeah, they're going to keep taking. That's fine. Okay, that's not a bad thing to draw. I'd rather just get that out. So 5, yeah, there's no point in me playing that as anything yet. Taking 2's of no consequence to me at this point. I need something with counters on to stay there for the Shadow Cat. Do I care more about this guy? I think I get the Shadow Cat out. I don't get that race. I think we were always winning that race. You know, that's annoying, but it doesn't... If they had a Blight Priest, then yeah, it would be really frustrating, but I guess they just know that they can't effectively block. Binding that isn't a problem, really. It's not great, don't get me wrong, but... So, okay, so we attack with everything. They block there or there. So if I attack here, I could have 10. So they double block there. I can kill both of those. I think it's worth it, you know. Two cards in hand. What could they do? Next turn we get the skeleton down. Okay, so they replay the Celebrant. So they're taking more in the air. we go further and further in front, I'm aware that they really haven't played anything worthy of building this deck, other than, you know, just the commons and uncommons that are pretty good. So they've not really played their like big hitter, so I expect at some point they will draw the thing that they built the deck around. The rare, the mythic, the rare, there it is. So they're getting something out from just getting an expedition healer. Okay. So they've rebuilt the board, which is annoying, don't get me wrong. Menace lifelink and lifelink is annoying. We've still got great attacks here. That hasn't got trample, which is frustrating. But I don't see why that isn't a good attack. So we can sacrifice to put 1/1 counters on this. Well, they still don't win that race. So this is an interesting one now. So we can subtle strike something. I think we're going to subtle strike this Null Priest just because we don't like it. I'm sending these in with a view that if they double or triple block here, yeah, so that's really good. So that'll die. And we get that back, and then we get a rogue. We've got to assume that isn't the only thing that they built the deck around, or managed to snag when they were building this deck. There's some great cards for the cleric deck. If they mill us, we lose the Moss Pit again, which is annoying. But no, there we go, 29 life. Hey now. We seem to get somewhere when they run out of removal. Just having a couple of tricks. The Might of Murasa probably did a lot more work than you'd have thought in that last game when it I think it tripled, or certainly double killed. And then the subtle strike giving us a couple of opportunities, bring things back and whatnot. Yeah, some good pieces to this deck. There's definitely so many more pieces that give you a better deck. But that being said, 3-1 is not to be sniffed at. Don't sniff at it. Agreed. At least two. Argue that last one, they probably weren't the best games played from our opponent's perspective, and a lot of that being the luck of the draw. But his Pines, we're now playing. So we'll do this because we can. We're going to go Florahedron. Certainly not going to play Skeleton if we don't have to. It's ripe for the removal, so more than expect that to not last the turn. Okay. Okay, so definitely didn't need to play that land. Should have played Zoc Consumption. Feel a bit like a fool. We're not going to Blood Chief's Thirst a Royal Mage. But I am also not going to block the Royal Mage. We need an untapped land next turn. That's not an untapped land. I think if we can get away with only taking 4 damage, they're a 3-colour deck, then we're doing well. I think that needs to just die next turn. However, saying that, so that's going to attack. We can stop that. We're going to take 4. However, I feel like it's not got trample. If this Horn Beetle can stick around, then we play Mospit Skeleton, kicked. We gain 3/1/1s. Yeah, so that's fine. They're drawing a lot of cards. Okay, so that's annoying. So now we've just got good blocks. They may well want to hold us back and just, you know, let Ruin Crab do its thing. I will definitely block the use with the skeleton because it will come back out when I play the Gnarly Colony. Some of these cards would have been nice. Them gaining life is frustrating. So I can attack with the skeleton. I think I'm better off getting the colony out though. If I attack with the skeleton, am I getting 1/1 counters any other way now? I'm not. So the skeleton's just going to die. I don't mind the skeleton dying defensively, because the crab's going to get annoying in, and you know, they've drawn 5 lands, they've played 5 lands. A couple of turns time, I'm going to be frustrated. Those 3 cards were irrelevant anyway, so that's fine. I'm kind of holding this Deadly Alliance for something. So they're a kicker deck as well. They've only played. They've got 2 cards they've got with kicker. Okay, so that's a really good draw for us for sure. What are we most worried about here? I think I need to Mind Drain. I can kill the Vine Gecko for 1. No, I think I'll kill the Ruin Crab with the Blood Chief's Thirst. We might get a flavour for what they're holding on to. Considering... Yeah, so they are a kicker deck. So they're going to be less interested in that. So I'm going to get rid of the Vine Gecko, just because that's going to really max their plan out. So that, I mean, using a Royal Eruption defensively is not an issue. So we have a Might of Marasa here. We're now making their life quite difficult. Next turn, I still don't feel like the crab is ending the game. The Gloom Hunter coming down with 2 counters on it gives us 2 more 1/1s. They can only kill, like, if we attack with 1/1s on this board, they're killing 1, they're killing 2. That is really good card for us. With the trample we've got, that should be it. They play a land, they maybe get the gecko down. I think that's game. We Deadly Alliance the Oran Reef Ooze. And there we go. Well. Again, I'm not sure that their deck had like a... I don't know, it was kind of like a kicker deck with an ooze and a crab. 3 colours. It's 4-1. Moss Pit and the lads representing. It's getting a bit dark here, so apologies if... Oh, my hair is all over. Don't talk about what you see. Am I too high as well on the screen? It doesn't matter. Who cares? So 4-1. I would say unexpected. I would say it's, you know, Chemi King. I don't know. So this kind of deck, this kind of hand, sorry. I will play the Gloom Hunter. Ah, hello. Because it's just going to do something, you know. We've got a Mucklord, a Hagra Constrictor, and a Subtle Strike to do things later. The Mucklord is a better defender, and therefore what I'd rather have. And if they kill it, the Gloom Hunter gains a counter. So they're playing green-white, and there we go. Can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. So with that in mind, if we attack, we can do that, and then we can play as many as we want. I didn't want to play the Gnarled Colony. We're currently sat in a position of more power. Yeah, I think playing... So this is really tricky. So playing the Hagra Constrictor enables me to attack with the Gloom Hunter. But I think it's probably better for me to build the board and let them attack. Because now I've got enough to play the Gnarled Colony next turn. Yeah, so that's fine. So I'm a couple away, but I don't see us losing any time soon. So I think I'm still on the Hagra Constrictor train. No. So I'm not going to block up here. That having lifelink is annoying. I'll take 5 almost purely because I'm gonna be. Okay. So that's annoying, but is what it is. Don't like running smite. They obviously do, so that's up to them. The other option we've got is holding back the Gloom Hunter and Might of Mirasering in order to kill the Shepherd. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm that bothered by it. Hitting us for 5, us hitting them for 2 and gaining 2. I think I'd rather just Deadly Alliance it. This, you have to kick it for... Okay, well that's annoying. So, Vigilance and Indestructible, is that right? I guess I'm taking 4. Okay, so that's good. Do I want to use these things defensively? They've all got indestructible, so I think I can pretend like I didn't have anything I could do. So I can kick that. Okay. So we can Zoff Consumption to stay in the game. We can Oblivion's Hunger to keep the Ghastly Gloom Hunter around. But we won't be able to do it this turn if we want to keep... It's definitely taxing, this kind of game. I think it's better just to keep the Oblivion's Hunger. Okay. So we draw a card from that. That also then doesn't die. We gain 2. If they've got anything they can do, then... Ha ha! We don't gain the life because they have protection. Which is annoying. They could have done it on any of our creatures, so... Okay, so there you go. So that was a strange... What was that? Like, white, green, cleric-y party thing? White, green party, maybe it was that? But, yeah, decent late game. So, we're now like, where I thought we would be. Have we got another win in us? That's the question. That's the one I'm wondering about. So we've got the opposite situation here, where we've got all green. But, you know, such is life. We're going to have to play out one of these gnarled colonies for 2. Although, taking 1 a turn isn't the end of the world. Taking that is a bit more... So, we've got a couple of options. We can Blood Chief's Thirst away the Grotag Bugcatcher. I think that is, in this kind of deck, what we want to do. So, very aggro from my part to do that. But we've been being hit for a lot. So I can now Brute, which blocks the Banneret. I will trade it for the War Leader. I mean, that's fine. I'll take 5. We just need to hold. Okay? We just need to hold. So we now, again, we blank the Banneret. I will trade it for the War Leader. If they've got another Royal Eruption, wow. I mean, fair play, though. That's annoying. But I'll kick another one, and I'll have it stand there. At the end of the day, if they end up killing the colony, what are they playing for 2 and keeping a mountain? Oh, the axe. Why are they keeping a mountain, though? The sneaking guy. Fair enough. So this is tough. We just need to hold. On 7 life, it's hard, but we've got double blocks on the War Leader. They can't send the War Leader in with the Sneaking Guide. If they Relic Axe... What? 3 eruptions? That is incredible. I can't take another 5. Another whatever it was. That's just stupid. Blimey. I feel like this is such an where was that? Where was that earlier? I have to trade for the Sneaking Guide. Kill the War Leader with the Deadly Alliance. We're on a 5-turn clock. I have to chump block. which is annoying. There are plenty of things in my deck that would. I think this is pretty much this, isn't it? We have some life gain. I mean, playing the Scale the Heights, as long as this sticks around, which it won't do, but... Okay. So we can Scale the Heights. Gain 2 more life. Draw a card. So we can't gain life this turn. So that, I mean, okay, so I've been poo-pooing this card a lot, but fair play. Now that you look at it like this, what a funky card. Another turn or two. And we'd have done it. Okay, so that was just like very rapid fire Boros aggro warriors with the kicker of the rolling vortex, which seemed to pay off really well. So I think we got 4-3 out of that in the end. Debatably true 4-3 on the basis that realistically the first couple of games were barely big wins for us. But either way, guys, so I would say mediocre deck. I would say a 4-3 deck at the most, and we managed to get there with it, which is great. And I think sometimes that is just what you need. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did, like the video, subscribe and all that jazz. I really appreciate it when you do. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.